All right, welcome back to your Y'all Stars stream. We're coming up on game 3, I believe, which will be Indigenous Rising and Bipolar Rollers. I'm going to go ahead and start with the rosters. I'm Nines, and I'm here with...
I am Belligerent Bex.
And I'm going to go ahead and start with the Bipolar Rollers. We have number 0101 Slaytrix, 0429 Carmina Piranha, 1138 Barbie Fett, 1304 Sweet Potato, 1318 Nuclear Winter, 21 Machiavelli, 2345 J Swift, 271 Lizness Casual, 310 Honey Bomb, 32 Locked and Loaded, 397 Manic Butch, number 4 Perjurin, 527 Bipolar Roller, 6 Medulla Oblongata, 718 Betty Rage, 72 Hell's Kitten, 7399 Chronic Tush, and 0850 Anus, and number 90 Buffy Bangarang.
Thank you, Nines. I'll give you the Indigenous Rising roster for this afternoon. We have number 10 Shawashka Beneshi, aka Smacks. Number 100 Beast Mode, 120 Hawaiian Blaze, 1492 Mush It Real Good, 1680 Daryl, number 17 Velez, 182 Link, 1871 Trick or Treaty, 25 Ruthless, 35 Fuzzkill, 44 Tornado Alley, 57 Skates and Circles, 614 Karma, 7 Smack Mamba, 757 Small Fry, 8 TNTini, 86 Pow Pow Panther, and 91 Beauty and the Beatdown. And if you're just joining us, this is our third game. Our first game this morning was Team Desi and Jersey All-Stars, with Jersey All-Stars taking that one, and Iliwa versus Alaska, with Iliwa taking the win on that last game. All right. Now we're really cooking. I got Nines with me.
Hello, Bex.
Whose mic was muted.
My mic was muted.
You know, we're just getting into the swing of things.
I'm going to do a second try on these officials. We got Quick Grayson, Night Trotter, The Doctor, Texas Tornado, Carmen Dragon, Hot Mess Express, Fun Police, Punish Her, Dread Honchuli, Effin' Ref, Hannibal Reffer, Random Dude, Shalone Spocker, Rough Draft, Wicked, Jump Cut, and Breadpool.
So I did some math before, well, I was getting ready for this, and by my count, the Bipolar Rollers are representing 12 different states, and Indigenous Rising is representing 13 states. So shout out to all of those people who came here, only a handful from here in Louisiana. As far away as Washington, we have some Michigan, some Oregon, some New York, a little bit of everywhere.
And we are about to get this Game 3 underway. Looks like we're going to have number 7, Smack Mamba, on the line for Indigenous Rising.
And I can't see, but we'll tell you in a second who is jamming for Bipolar Rollers. You see Indigenous Rising here in black and the Bipolar Rollers in blue. It's going to be Locked and Loaded for Bipolar Rollers taking the jam line, and we have our first lead of the game.
Locked and Loaded getting hit out on the inside, recycled up to the front, taking that star off, possibly looking for a pass, but Smack Mamba is making her way around for the first scoring pass. Locked and Loaded out of the pack now, no pass needed, forcing a call off on Smack Mamba. Looks like Indigenous Rising has picked up 4 points, 0 for Bipolar Rollers, making this a 4-0 game in your first jam, or after your first jam.
We are at just the angle where we got to wait until the scoreboard updates to see who's on the line. And it's going to be Perry for Bipolar Rollers and Mush for Indigenous Rising. Everyone getting pushed a little bit backwards here behind that jam line.
Mush with 1 to beat in the front of the pack makes it through and is your lead jammer. This is 2 straight lead jams for Indigenous Rising. We have a star pass on Bipolar Rollers to number 718, Betty Rage. Betty Rage making their way through the front of the pack here.
Whole bunch of whistles on the track. Looks like that's going to be the Indigenous Rising pivot headed to the Hampton Inn Suites penalty box. Taking an early check-in in this game.
Betty Rage completing that initial pass, coming around to score. As Mush is making her way through this first scoring pass. Indigenous Rising with the pack disadvantage right now, having a blocker and a pivot in the box, but it looks like it's not bothering Mush too much.
It looks like they are going to opt to keep this running. They do have control. Indigenous Rising does have control over this jam, but looking like they're going to wait until the blockers are all out of the box. There were 2 sitting. Now there's just 1 who is standing. More whistles on the track. That's going to be a Bipolar Rollers blocker headed to that Hampton Inn Suites penalty box.
Looks like Bipolar Rollers will be down a blocker at the beginning of this next jam.
Putting their first points on the board, though, headed into Jam 3. We have a score of 16 for Indigenous Rising and 3 for Bipolar Rollers. That was a 12-3 jam in favor of Indigenous Rising.
And for the next jam on the line, we have Beauty and the Beatdown for Indigenous Rising and Slay Tricks for Bipolar Rollers.
Ooh, I see a fun fact in the chat here. This is Link 182's debut with Indigenous Rising, this tournament. That's exciting.
Slay Tricks, making her way through the pack, has become your lead jammer. This is the first time Bipolar Rollers have gotten lead in the game so far.
Tangled up here on entering turn 2.
We have a star pass on Indigenous Rising. Looks like that's to number 157. 757, that's Small Fry. Small Fry with a little hop on the inside, making their way around for 4 points for Indigenous Rising. And 4 points for Bipolar Rollers, making your score 20-7.
Give a quick thank you to a couple of our royal sponsors, 187 Killer Pads, 888 Hampton Inn Suites, who of course are our penalty box sponsors, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou, and Acadian Ambulance Service. Heading into this next jam, looks like we have Smack Mamba wearing the jammer helmet cover for Indigenous Rising. Waiting to see that number on the Bipolar Rollers.
Looks
jammer.
like number 90, Buffy Bangarang for Bipolar Rollers.
Thank you, Nines. Nobody staying in the Hampton Inn Suites penalty box as of this moment. We're looking at a attempt at a star pass to number 72 on Bipolar Rollers. That's going to be Hell's Kitten.
And Smack Mamba has secured that lead jammer status, coming around to score some points for Indigenous Rising. Making her way around that outside line, getting hit out by none other than number 0429, that's Carmina Piranha. Brought all the way to the back of the pack.
Nice little chest-to-chest hit there, but we do have Smack Mamba coming through with some points. Also, if you haven't been watching yet today, these are shortened games for today. They're 20-minute games with a 5-minute half, 5 penalties to foul out due to the shortened time, and each team getting 2 timeouts.
Looks like Indigenous Rising will be losing a blocker to the box, and they will have to sit between these jams because Smack Mamba has called it off with 12 points for Indigenous Rising.
I believe that's tied for the highest scoring jam of the game in this early game, heading into Jam 5.
That is correct.
We have a request in the chat to introduce ourselves again, Nines. So I'm Belligerent Bex, and if you didn't hear that.
And I am Nines.
It is Nines' first broadcast call, if I am correct.
Yes, this is my first broadcast call, and I'm very excited because I love to talk about the strategy of the game. As an ex-skater, it's something that's really cool to talk about.
And I got to call games with Nines at Firefest in Baton Rouge last fall. Incredible announcer. Excited to be with you again this weekend.
Thank you. I'm excited to be with you. But back to the game. Looks like Locked and Loaded has gotten lead for Bipolar Rollers, and the jam was called.
Quick
Bipolar
jam there.
Rollers picking up 2 points, making your score 36-9, and Indigenous Rising picking up 4.
One of the things that I always find fun to watch at these borderless and state tournaments is on this first day, getting to see some of these teams meld. Most of them don't get to practice together frequently, if at all, like I said. Double-digit diversity of states of origin for these skaters. So day one's always fun. You get to watch them kind of figure each other out throughout the course of the weekend.
And we've got Smack Mamba and Perry on the line for Bipolar Rollers and Indigenous Rising.
Got a...
Smack Mamba has gained lead jammer status. Little fun fact from our producer, every time Smack Mamba has jammed in this game, she has obtained lead jammer status. Quite impressive.
Indeed. Right now, it looks like just one skater in that Hampton Inn and Suites penalty box. That's going to be Anus. Looked like it was a multiplayer when it was called. I do hear another whistle on the track, though.
Looks like a back block penalty called on our jammer for Bipolar Rollers. They will be sitting in the box, making this a power jam for Indigenous Rising.
Full minute left on the jam clock here with the Bipolar Rollers blocker headed back onto the track. Ooh.
Smack Mamba barely making it through on that outside line, but she does in another 4.
Holds on with 1 foot.
And Smack Mamba makes the call off. 8-0 point jam. Your score is 44 Indigenous Rising to 9 Bipolar Rollers.
Perry still seated in that Hampton Inn and Suites penalty box. Always a comfortable stay. So we will have at least 10 seconds here of a power start in favor of Indigenous Rising, and it looks like that is Beast Mode.
And for this power jam for Indigenous Rising, we have Beast Mode on the line. This is Beast Mode's first time jamming in this game.
Beast taking
Doing
that
an incredible
outside.
job.
Dodged off a hit there on turn 1. Whistle on the track. We have Bipolar Rollers blocker headed to the penalty box, and we also have Perry back on the track as the jammer record for Bipolar Rollers and through on the initial pass.
Beast Mode around for 4. Looks like Perry on Bipolar Rollers has pulled the call off for Indigenous Rising, so no points there.
Really nice job there by the Bipolar Rollers jammer. Perry getting out of the box and really quickly completing that initial pass to hold Indigenous Rising to just 4 points there. It's not always easy to come out of the penalty box and get through that quickly.
Speaking of the Hampton Inn and Suites penalty box, Bipolar Rollers will be down a blocker in this jam. We have number 6, Medulla Oblongata, taking a seat there. And 0101 Slate Tricks, jamming for Bipolar Rollers, is your lead jammer.
super quick lead, but mush for Indigenous Rising. Gaining ground here, just maybe 10, 15 feet separates these two jammers. Ooh, whistle. I think that's going to be some kind of pack destruction. Didn't see the hand signal there from our referee. One blocker for Bipolar Rollers currently standing in the Hampton Inn and Suites penalty box. So slight pack advantage here. Ooh, more than slight. Now the pivot headed to that penalty box. That's going to be Honey Bomb, who, like I said, wearing the pivot helmet cover. So pack advantage here for Indigenous Rising with that other blocker headed back to the track.
Once again, Smack Mamba and Buffy Bangerang on the jam line. Smack Mamba taking a little tumble, completing that initial pass, but she's making her way around for a scoring pass. Beautiful juke from the out to the in from Smack Mamba, picking up 4 points for Indigenous Rising.
Mamba definitely having a great start to this game. Not the first multi-pass jam. Putting up 4 more there, rounding that score for Indigenous Rising midway through this jam to 8. Whoa, nice hit and hop back in there. Incredible track awareness by Mamba to not get that cut, able to get back inbounds before the opposing blocker was able to do a run back.
We have a star pass on Bipolar Rollers to number 310, Honey Bomb, as Honey Bomb makes her way out, completing the initial pass. And Smack Mamba makes a call off. 16-point jam for Indigenous Rising, making your score 68-10. This is our largest scoring jam of the game so far.
I love when you all drop some fun facts into the chat here. I just myself learned that Smack Mamba on Indigenous Rising and Lizness Casual on Bipolar Rollers are teammates, which I love watching teammates play against each other.
And we are in a timeout for Team Indigenous Rising.
That's at River City Roller Derby, which I believe is in Virginia, since I did all my research today. But we do have our first timeout of the day. It is an official timeout, and you know what that means. It means I get to read you my first Crash Course ad read of the day, of the weekend. There will be plenty more. Tired of second-guessing your training routine? Visit CrashCourseRollerDerby.com, that's Crash with a K, to get a custom plan to increase strength, conquer self-doubt, and create MVP habits. Life is a contact sport. Win. I will hear that in my sleep. It lives in my brain. Shout out to Chrissy Crash for sponsoring basically every timeout in the sport of roller derby.
And we are getting back into the game. Looks like we have Locked and Loaded on the line for the Bipolar Rollers.
That was updated to be a team timeout for Indigenous Rising, so that will be 1 out of 2 of their timeouts since we are playing 40-minute games on today, day 1. In these main division games, don't forget, if you come back for the rest of the weekend, we also have the open division bracket and round-robin junior games.
Smacks on the line for Indigenous Rising has obtained lead jammer. I would also just like to comment on that very strong 2-wall from Bipolar Rollers in the front just now. Very impressive. Locked and Loaded with an apex jump on the inside right as the jam was called. Not managing to pick up any points, though.
I think I saw that
so beautiful.
Inside foot hit the inside. Not sure if it would have been in time, even if it was a clean landing, but it was a beautiful jump to look at nonetheless. We have
1318 on the line for Bipolar Rollers, which I do believe this is their first time jamming this game. And number 9-1 for Indigenous Rising. That's Beauty in the Beatdown.
Lead jam for Barbie Fett and Bipolar Rollers. I believe that's their second, if I'm not mistaken, third lead status of this game. Still very early, about 3/4 of the way through the first half. It's fine. Ooh, easy 4 points there for Barbie. Looking for, a successful star pass, I should say, there for Indigenous Rising to Ruthless, who is now your jammer of record. Incredible footwork there, putting the helmet cover on. I am known to pivot from time to time, and to me there's nothing harder than putting the helmet cover on while you're trying to sprint around the track. I'm tempted to channel my inner Johnny Weir for the rest of this. Getting through by an eyelash. Back into action here.
Once again, we have Smack Mamba and Perry. Peregrine taking the lead for Bipolar Rollers.
Oh, but headed to the Hampton Inn Suites penalty box on a cut track. That means, I believe they were called as lead before that cut, which
means we will have the full 2 minutes of this jam.
With a good 90 seconds and change to go here. I have noticed when just forgot how to talk for a second. Guys, listen. It's early in the tournament. When Mamba comes around the track to approach the pack again, you can see her do a little bit of preparing physically, mentally. And that's really, like, jammers do a lot of work. This has been a very Smack Mamba heavy rotation. And that's that's the only way you can be a successful jammer, really, is being able to collect yourself while you have those few seconds skating around the track.
And she certainly does a good job. We have a recycle all the way to the back of the pack from number 10 on Indigenous Rising. That's Smacks. And once again, another recycle for Perry.
Smack Mamba hit to the inside on turn 3 there. And once again, both packs getting tangled up. But looking for a late hit on Perry, not successful. So Perry's through there for, I believe that was the initial pass. I see 4 more in the sky there for Indigenous Rising, making sure I give the scoreboard a second to update. Oh, and Perry picking up 2 for Bipolar Rollers. That did end up being a 10-2 jam in favor of Indigenous Rising. Our score at, nope. See, I thought I saw 4, 12-2, 10-2. I don't know what's happening. We got a dancing scoreboard here, and an official timeout being called, presumably. So that gets all straightened out. Huge shout out to our non-skating officials operating that scoreboard this weekend. We could not do this sport at all without them. And being that it is an official timeout, I will tell you. Do you want to feel more confident when you step on the track? Visit CrashCourseRollerDerby.com. That's Crash with a K for a custom plan to increase agility, level up your laterals, and be the skater everyone wants in their pack. Life is a contact sport. Win.
And we have Slate Tricks and Mush on the jam line. Looks like Slate Tricks has committed a cut track penalty and will be sitting in our Hampton Inn Suites penalty box. This is a power jam for Indigenous Rising, and Mush seems to be taking advantage of that. Some very impressive offense in the front of the pack here from Indigenous, allowing Mush to get out on their initial pass.
In the far straight away here, we have an Indigenous Rising blocker headed back onto the track. A little hard to see from our vantage point. Oh, here they come. Now we can see them again.
Mush out in the front with 4 for Indigenous Rising, and looks like Slatrix has been released from the box.
About a minute and change to go left in this jam. Mush finding a little space there on the inside line. While everyone's shouting out in the chat, we appreciate all of your beloved teammates. I just got to watch my former teammate Machiavelli, aka Pac, formerly of Big Easy Roller Derby, out for Bipolar Rollers as a blocker in that jam. That's my own shout out. So, apologies for any mix-ups if we call wrong jammers. It's a little hard to see numbers from here, but we're gonna do our best to improve over the game. And looking at the scoreboard, we got...
Looks like Trick or Treaty on the jam line for Indigenous Rising. This
Big
is her
hit there.
first time jamming in this game so far, doing a great job picking up lead with a big hit in the front of the pack.
Back block assessed on somebody. Oh, that is going to go to the Bipolar Rollers jammer, who is Buffy, taking a seat there in that Hampton Inn Suites penalty box, while Trick or Treaty looking for some room here, finding it on the close straightaway.
And looks like Trick or Treaty will be serving her time in the Hampton Inn Suites penalty box for a cut track penalty.
Early checkout here for the Bipolar Rollers jammer.
So I'm sure that all of you that are watching know, but for anyone that doesn't know, if a jammer is sitting in the box and the other jammer obtains a penalty, they will only sit in the box for as long as the first jammer has sat, so gameplay can continue, because without the jammer, there is no game.
Ye old jammer switcheroo. I assume most people watching today do know this. However, their coworkers who are watching over their shoulder, because I know you're all watching at work, they can learn about some derby today too. Tell everyone at your job, tell your bosses, we say hi. Bex and Nines, wish them a happy Thursday.
And both of our jammers back out on the track now. Buffy taking a recycle to the back.
The period clock has expired here. As a reminder, it's 20-minute half, so with 15 seconds left on the jam clock, we will be headed to our 5-minute halftime pretty soon. Long drawback there.
And we have a star pass on Bipolar Rollers to number 310. That's Honey Bomb.
That's going to bring it to halftime there. We have a score headed into that 5-minute half of 89 for Indigenous Rising and 24 for Bipolar Rollers. We'll be back in 5 with some stats for you. See you soon.
Can you see me? I'm waiting to be discovered. Meet me where the untraditional is traditional. Dare to go bold? Come find me in Louisiana's Cajun Bayou.
The red helmet is super important to me because I'm a big fan of my brain and I want to protect it.
I actually am gonna plug in the new deep cover helmet because it's amazing. That's the one helmet that I feel like I can adjust like perfectly and then I don't have to worry about it.
Your head, your noggin, it's your life. When I play, if I am thinking about the game and not thinking about what I'm wearing, I am on fire.
Our heads are so important, so I think it's really important to have a helmet that fits you. It just feels like nothing's on my head. I feel protected. It's definitely a great helmet. It feels like it was made for me.
This fits my head. I feel really safe in this. I can adjust it on the fly. It also comes in a lot of cool colors.
It feels very snug. I don't know, it's not like a tight helmet, it's like really like a hug that just has so many fitting arrangements, like it changes everything.
It landed where it needed to land, it protected me at the back of my skull. I just never felt more safe than I did with the deep cover.
The smaller shell size means that my head is not 12 times bigger than it should be. It feels snug, it feels safe. When I tried it on, I was like, this is the greatest helmet of all time. I'm never taking it off.
I think Triple Eight is doing an awesome job listening to the skaters.
They're listening to the athletes and they're listening to the things that make us feel safe.
We're just chatting amongst ourselves. So we are returning for the second half of game number 3 in the main division. First day of the All-Stars here from Thibodaux, Louisiana. Indigenous Rising leading the Bipolar Rollers here with a score of 93-24.
And once again, I am Nines.
And I am Belligerent Bex. And if you're wondering, since this is the first game these two teams are playing, the winning team from this game will play Game 9 today at 7:45 versus the second-seeded Team Philippines, and the losing team will play Game 8 at 6:30 p.m. today versus the losing team from the next game, which will be at 1:15, and that's Salam versus Black Diaspora. We're moving our way through the bracket. Indigenous Rising is the 6th seeded team here. Bipolar Rollers taking the 10th seed. Hope you're taking notes. You will be tested.
And looks like we're going to have Smack Mamba and Locked and Loaded on the jam line for our first jam in the second half. Smack Mamba taking that outside line and is your lead jammer. Locked and Loaded, hot on Smack Mamba's tail, forcing the call off. 0-0 jam.
Locks also playing with Black Diaspora this weekend. Those dual rostered skaters are my heroes. There's a lot of work to be out here. Oh, also coming out of Western Mass Roller Derby, which is where I went to college in Western Massachusetts. Always shout out to the people of Mass. Ooh. Looks like we're going to have a quick official timeout. Of course, that is a crash course timeout. Life is a contact sport win. I think there's something wet. Oh, blood. That's wet. Yay!
Just Hannibal Reffer making sure everyone's safe.
Of course, shout out to our officials who do truly everything. Biohazard cleanup and, of course, officiating. Aw. Give another shout out to one of our sponsors, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. Discover the Cajun lifestyle at lacajunbayou.com.
And with Mush and Perry on the line, this jam is underway. Mush tiptoeing around that outside line, making her way out, and is your lead jammer. Star pass on Bipolar Rollers to number 7-2, that's Hell's Kitten. Mush coming around with 4 points, calling the jam before Bipolar Rollers get the chance to score, making your score 97-24. Indigenous Rising starting a blocker down. We have Ruthless in the box.
Small fry on the line here for Indigenous Rising, getting quick lead.
Along with Slate Tricks for the Bipolar Rollers.
And if my packet here is correct, which it almost definitely is because these packets are incredible, Small Fry also is a bench coach for Bipolar Rollers. I'm assuming not doing that at this moment, considering Small Fry is currently a jammer for the other team. Calling it off after putting up some points there, bringing Indigenous Rising over the century mark. Nines has heard this. I like to play the take a sip of your beverage game for too many things. We do palindromes, we do lead changes, and why not do it for the century mark? So take a moment to hydrate. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. I just want you all to hydrate. It's a long weekend. You got 3 more days of action, and we still have 7 games left to go today on Thursday. That's today. Yes, today's Thursday.
And we have Buffy Bangarang and Smack Mamba on the jam line.
Looks like we
Smack
have
Mamba jumping around that outside line is your lead jammer.
getting lead despite the pack disadvantage. Looks like we have 2 Indigenous Rising blockers in that Hampton Inn and Suites penalty box.
And a star pass on Bipolar Rollers to number 1318, that's Nuclear Winner. As the jam is called, 4-0 jam once again. Your score being 105-24.
Finding out that Hell's Kitten is the biggest Prince fan ever. From Johnny Pepper, who I'm now looking for. You must be nearby somewhere.
We have Mush and Locked and Loaded on the jam line.
Forearm
and
call.
Indigenous Rising will be losing a blocker to the box on a forearm.
Feels like this has been a whistle-heavy game.
Mush has made it out of her initial pass, but Locked and Loaded is your lead jammer for this jam.
Looks like in terms of penalty trouble, we have 1 skater at 4 penalties. So that is Danger. That is going to be Ruthless from Indigenous Rising. We're only getting 5 penalties before a foul out in these abridged games. We will return to full regulation 60-minute games tomorrow. I believe tomorrow with the first Open Division game, which I have too many papers in front of me, so I can't tell you which one that is now.
Very nice hit on the outside line from Ruthless, bringing Locked and Loaded all the way to the back of the pack.
1 to go there for Mush, successfully.
I would like to say Indigenous Rising's defense this game has been very impressive. It's been very nice to watch.
They've been really successful, even with a pack disadvantage. I've seen them have 2 blockers on the track, still able to lock it down. I think that will be probably one of the big stories of their weekend.
And now jamming, because of the star pass for Bipolar Rollers, is Carmina Pirana. Big shout out to Carmina Pirana. This tournament is her brain baby, as you would say.
It's actually insane to me that Mina is able to play in this tournament. This is one of the best run tournaments in sports, not just roller derby, and it's all thanks
It's the
to
best
Mina.
ever.
And it's crazy to me that Mina's able to do all of that. Superhero. Big shout out to Mina for helping this all happen. High scoring jam there with 16 more on the board for Indigenous Rising, 7 more for Bipolar Rollers.
And we have Mush in the penalty box starting this next jam, making this a power start for Bipolar Rollers. It looks like they have put Perry on the line.
So good chance to really closely watch. Oop. I don't know what's happening. It looks like... Oh. No, I'm not clear what's going on. We will tell you in a second. Never mind. I think that penalty was rescinded. So now we do have... Okay, we have an official timeout. That's a crash course timeout. Well, we become more clear on what's going on here. What I was going to say is it would be a good chance to watch the Indigenous Rising defense, but we can do that anyway. Rolling whistle means we'll be back in action in a second. I know that Indigenous Rising has been a borderless team for several years now. They've been here at Yale Stars for the past few years. Bipolar Rollers, a newer collective, and so that might explain a little bit why the Indigenous Rising defense is so able to be locked down and together. There are some new skaters playing their first game with Rising this weekend. Oop, and we have a jammer
Cut
penalty.
track penalty for Smack Mamba. So this will be a power jam for Bipolar Rollers.
Perry jammer record there, working against that ever-recycling Indigenous Rising defense. Getting some help from the other Bipolar Rollers blockers there, but again, that Indigenous Rising defense just locked in.
And Smack Mamba is back out on the track.
Perry being extra careful there, going to get behind one of the Indigenous Rising blockers' hips. Oh my God.
Straight through and a jump up the straightaway from Smack Mamba.
I will
Picking up
never
another
understand
4.
how straightaway jumps are, like, I don't get the physics.
I don't get the physics of any jumps, honestly.
Yeah, same. I'm like, how are you moving in the air? Oh, but we do have, I believe that's Perry headed to the Hampton Inn and Suites. No, it is not. Blocker headed to the Hampton Inn and Suites penalty box. Listening to the bench in front of me instead of using my eyeballs.
Smack Mamba clear through on the inside line, picking up another 4 for Indigenous Rising. Looks like a star pass to Honey Bomb on Bipolar Rollers. But the jam has been called. Although looks like Honey Bomb was able to pick up 4 before that jam was called. That's what I see the ref holding up, anyways.
I'll give the scoreboard a moment to update to confirm that. Thought I saw that as well. It's not. We got Small Fry out on the track for Indigenous Rising. Slate Tricks jamming for the Bipolar Rollers. Small Fry picking up a very quick lead there. Coming through for a scoring pass.
Some impressive work from Small Fry on this outside line, but ultimately is hit out and run back by Listeness Casual from Bipolar Rollers. Slate Tricks is through the front of the pack, completing initial, coming around to score. And Small Fry decides to call it off, rightfully so. Looks like a 4-point jam for Indigenous Rising.
Another story of the game, I will say, Indigenous Rising dominant, great defense, but high penalty count. Few skaters with multiple penalties. The most penalties any skater has is on Bipolar Rollers is 2. So they are likely to all stay on the track with 10 minutes left in this game, but anything could happen. We got Pac up at the top of the pack here, working against Mush It Real Good, the jammer for Indigenous Rising, who's going to get a little bit of help from their friend.
Little bit of offense from number 120, that's Hawaiian Blaze on Indigenous Rising, helping Mush get out of the pack for that initial.
From her friend, I should say. So. Oof, almost stayed in, not able to do so, but Mush is getting through on that scoring pass nonetheless.
And another star pass to Hell's Kitten on Bipolar Rollers.
I love the jammer hover hands when they're waiting for the exact perfect moment to call it off. The hover hands are good, though, because, 1, you want to do it at the right moment, and 2, make a little eye contact with a jam ref. Make sure that they're ready to call that jam for you. They look closely, but, nothing drives me crazier than a jammer who does, like, the world's tiniest call-off.
Right.
I'm like, no, Bacon, there's lots going on in here. They can't see you. Wave your arms around.
And sometimes they get frustrated. It's a whole thing.
I'm calling it off!
But Locked and Loaded is through and is your lead jammer for Bipolar Rollers.
Great sprint up the middle there.
Second time Locked and Loaded has gotten lead this half.
Just racing around the track. Smack Mamba over a half track behind as Locks is at least by 2 Indigenous Rising blockers.
Beautiful juking from Smack Mamba in the back of the pack, making her way around for 4 for Indigenous Rising.
So if you didn't know, the team of usually 6 announcers per game, 2 in-house, 2 broadcasts, and a production apiece. We do decide MVPs from each game. I am having a hard time thinking it's going to be anyone other than Smack Mamba.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Still got to talk to our buds on the other side of the stage here who are calling for our fans in the stands, but I have a feeling they're going to say that too.
But if you have any suggestions for MVPs, please do share in the chat. It will help us decide.
Absolutely. Throughout the weekend too, it's very helpful to hear some feedback, especially because when you're watching a game, trying to call a game, paying attention to points scored, sometimes it's not as easy to see the dominant blockers. And of course, we love giving blockers MVP too. We do have the second team timeout of 2 being called here for Indigenous Rising, 2 timeouts piece in these shortened games. Bipolar Rollers have not used any of theirs yet, and both teams have their official reviews, so we have a few clock stoppages available, but of course this is a Crash Course timeout. Crash Course helps busy roller derby athletes increase strength, conquer self-doubt, and create the habits of high performers to become all-stars and MVPs on the track and in life. Want to make 2-minute jams feel easy? Visit CrashCourseRollerDerby.com, that's Crash with a K, for a custom plan with derby-specific workouts, nutrition strategies, and athlete mindset development curated by an experienced team of certified personal trainers who are also experienced roller derby skaters. Life is a contact sport. Say it with me, everyone. Win. I agree with Johnny Pepper here in the chat. Evie, who is running the stream, NPR, who is our tournament head announcer, are the MVPs of the weekend and of my heart.
Once again, we have Small Fry and Buffy Bangarang with the star. Small Fry taking a hit out on the inside from number 1318. That's Nuclear Winner, getting ran all the way back to this tripod from Bipolar Rollers. Some nice offense from number 7399, Chronic Tush, allowing Buffy to get a little leeway, but big tumble on the outside.
And that was Chronic Tush headed to the penalty box after a direction in some offense that was being played there.
Looks like a star pass. Although Buffy was your lead jammer, this will now be a 2-minute jam because the star has been passed. But looks like Nuclear Winner is now your jammer for Bipolar Rollers.
love a long jam unless I'm in it.
I agree. Good to watch, not fun to play.
You know, it's the worst when you're a pivot and you take a star pass and then the lead jammer on the other team gets a penalty. I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. I mean, I did, but it's not what I wanted.
Nice moves on the outside from Luke Lear-Winner. This is Bipolar Rollers' highest scoring jam this half so far.
Both teams putting lots of points up on the board here. First for mid-jam, so I'm not going to attempt to tell you what they are, but multi-pass jams for both teams, and another 4 up there for the Bipolar Rollers.
And the jam has come to its natural conclusion.
I think it is going to end up being a 14-12 jam in favor of Indigenous Rising. 2 whole minutes for a 2-point differential on the jam. That's roller derby. Keep throwing those MVP suggestions in the chat.
That was a high-scoring jam all around for both of our teams. Second highest scoring jam for Indigenous Rising and highest scoring jam for Bipolar Rollers for the entire game. And looks like we have
Jack for the production support here.
We have 0101 Slate Tricks for Bipolar Rollers, and of course Smack Mamba is your lead jammer once again.
I know Smack Mamba is going to have a good time reading that stats sheet after this game.
And we have a power jam for Indigenous Rising, and with this call-off we will have a power start for Indigenous Rising. Slate Tricks sitting in the box.
Official review being called here by the Bipolar Rollers. That is the first official review of this game. I think they're going to announce it and have us say. We're working on finding out what that's going to be. Well, we can't yet because they're still talking, but we will. While we have this moment, we're waiting to hear what this is about. I'm going to give a shout out to 888 elevating derby safety standards with cutting edge technology.
And a special thanks to our Acadian Ambulance Service for sponsoring us for today and providing medic support. Big thanks to them.
Can't do it without the medic support. Got some crowd sponsors as well. It's going to be DDG, Bruised Boutique, Roll One, Collectivum Sports Plus Signs, and Derby Girl Designs. Thank you to all of our shout-out sponsors. Our sponsors to shout out. Could not do it without them either. All of this is a team effort. I love watching when the refs are deliberating and the captains and coaches are just standing on the track all laughing together. We're all just here hanging out, having a good time. It's another thing I love about the borderless tournaments, the state team tournaments, is a lot of these skaters know each other, maybe play together, who are playing on opposing teams now.
Looks like we'll be getting some news on that OR soon. Waiting for our good friend Hazenberg to give us the news.
Where did he go?
I'm about to go ask them what happened.
He's here. What happened? Where are you going? Hey, hey, We're still trying to find out what just happened there. Nine's running over to the amazing Hayes to get us some more information, but we're back into action here. Mush already out, lead and able to score for Team Indigenous Rising. I believe we did still... Nope, I'm going to wait to hear what happened in that official review before I say anything definitive, but 4 points up quick. Ooh, Oh, amazing lead hit there. But the blocker went out of bounds, so Mush able to hop back on the track.
That OR earlier was Bipolar Rollers trying to call a track cut on the Indigenous Rising Jammer, but it is a no call, so no penalty will be given.
And they do not retain their official review. We only have 3 clock stoppages available for the last 4 minutes of this game. That's going to be Indigenous Rising's official review. Bipolar Rollers still having both of their team timeouts. We had a very brief power start there for Indigenous Rising, but Slate Tricks back on the track now. No lead assessed yet. Both these jammers working around turn 1.
Some very nice one-on-one blocking in the back of the pack from 1871 Trick or
Both
Treat.
jammers looking at freedom, but Smack Mamba getting lead status. And now Slate Tricks getting recycled way back here on the far straightaway.
Once again, Trick or Treaty on the recycle. And Smack Mamba with the call off. 4-0 jam.
Just under 3 minutes left here in this game. Our next matchup will be at 1:15 Central Time between Salam and Black Diaspora. That'll be fun. These are all fun.
And we have Beast Mode and Perry on the jam line. And Peregrine making her way through is your lead jammer.
Both jammers out. Beast Mode in front here, but does not have lead. Be interesting to see what Bipolar Rollers opt to do here. Looks like they are going to let both teams work towards some points here.
Beast Mode just sneaking her way through the inside of the pack for another 4. Immediately taking that recycle from Carmina Piranha, giving Peregrine a little bit of time to catch up.
Big hit to the inside on that attempted apex jump.
We have a star pass on Indigenous Rising to looks like number 157.
Jam called there. Looks like 1 point apiece on that last pass. I'll let this scoreboard update.
Sorry, 757. That was Small Fry that took that star pass.
There we go. It was a 5-5 jam, so a wash there with about 1 minute left in the game. Indigenous Rising at 181. Bipolar Rollers coming in at 52. So this is likely, well, no, I shouldn't say that. I should never say that. This could be our last jam. 1 to go here for Locked and Loaded gets lead.
Very impressive juke on the outside to get that lead status.
Came off the line hot. I feel like Locks knew that they were going to get lead there. They
Beautiful
wanted it.
apex jump from Locked and Loaded.
Quick points, but I saw Skate go out there. Quick points for Locks. I saw Skate go out there for it. That's going to be it.
Yep.
Yes.
Looks like Mush will take that cut track penalty, and this is now a power jam for Bipolar Rollers.
So we have 10 seconds left here on the period clock. This is just an awesome last jam here for Locked and Loaded and Bipolar Rollers. It's like the perfect end to a game.
Very good end of the game.
You could tell she came out being like, this is going to be my jam. Less than a minute here left on the jam clock. Game clock already expired.
And this is now Bipolar Rollers' highest scoring jam for the entire game.
for an early game in the weekend on a Thursday afternoon. It's getting loud in here. People in the stands excited.
Very nice offense from number 7-2 on Bipolar Rollers. That's Hell's Kitten.
Oh, nice hit to the inside there. Violence casual. Wow.
The energy's really ramped up right at the end here.
Yeah, this room is buzzing. Wow. What a last jam. What a game. But that last jam was a ton of fun.
And what a jam for Locked and Loaded. 28-8 jam. 28-11 jam.
So we're waiting on our official final score. But our unofficial final score is 192 for Indigenous Rising, 80 for Bipolar Rollers.
And looks like that is official.
So just as a reminder, you can check out Indigenous Rising at 7:45 tonight against Team Philippines, and Bipolar Rollers at 6:30 tonight versus the losing team from our next game at 1:15, which is Salam versus Black Diaspora. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you in about, I can't do math, 18 minutes. Thanks.
Can you see me? I'm waiting to be discovered. Meet me where the untraditional is traditional. Dare to go bold? Come find me in Louisiana's Cajun Bayou.
The right helmet is super important to me because I'm a big fan of my brain and I want to protect it.
I'm gonna plug in the new deep cover helmet because it's amazing. That's the one helmet that I feel like I can adjust like perfectly and then I don't have to worry about it.
Your head, your noggin, it's your life. When I play, if I am thinking about the game and not thinking about what I'm wearing, I am on fire.
Our heads are so important, so I think it's really important to have a helmet that fits you. It just feels like nothing's on my head. I feel protected. It's definitely a great helmet. It feels like it was made for me.
This fits my head. I feel really safe in this. I can adjust it on the fly. It also comes in a lot of cool colors.
It feels very snug. I don't know, it's not like a tight helmet, it's like it really like a hug that just has so many fitting arrangements, like it changes everything.
It landed where it needed to land, it protected me at the back of my skull. I just never felt more safe than I did with the deep cover.
The smaller shell size means that my head is not 12 times bigger than it should be. It feels snug, it feels safe. When I tried it on, I was like, this is the greatest helmet of all time. I'm never taking it off.
I think Triple Eight is doing an awesome job listening to the skaters.
They're listening to the athletes and they're listening to the things that make us feel safe.